To understand what's happened with woke, you have to understand the history of Black movements in general.
I define woke as a term of enlightenment. It, I think, reflects the fact that so many of us have been in a slumber when it comes to the realities of race, when it comes to the realities of the history of this country.
I have to be aware. I have to know my experience, especially as a Black person in America. I cannot ignore any of this because this is my reality each and every day.
This is advice I give to all the Harlem colored people, and what I mean all the good colored people.
A singer, they called him Leadbelly, but his last name was Ledbetter. He actually wrote a song about the Scottsboro Boys, and just quickly, the Scottsboro Boys were accused of raping a woman in Alabama. At the end of the song, you know, as the tune trails off, he says,
I advise everybody to be a little careful when they go along through that, but stay woke, keep their eyes open.
People understood when they heard it, and now it has become almost a divisive or derisive term.
We see this with our dances, we see this with our language. What starts off as ours quickly becomes appropriated. And that becomes an even quicker process with the speed in which things are shared on social media.
All power to the people!
When people during the civil rights movement began saying Black Power, all of a sudden it became a term that people equated with communism. It became equated with anti-white sentiment, and then it eventually gave birth to white power. And you can trace the use of, you know, almost anything associated with a Black movement up to now. You know, like the 1619 Project has become a insult. Black Lives Matter became, you know, anti-white sentiment that was banned in schools. It spawned All Lives Matter. You know, every time Black people try to use a phrase or to coin something that symbolizes our desire for liberation, it will be made into something that is anti whatever the current sentiment is.
One House lawmaker taking on a new battle to combat wokeness across the country.
Stopping wokeness, which does sound a lot like the opposite of being awake.
We can't just stand idly by while woke ideology ravages every institution in our society. We can never, ever surrender to woke ideology. And I'll tell you this, the state of Florida is where woke goes to die.
If you can get people to believe that woke is bad, then you don't have to get them to demonize or to even think logically about the agenda that you're pushing against, right?
Just this week, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis addressed his, quote, Stop Woke Act, which restricts race-based conversations in businesses and in schools.
I was teaching in the university system before Ron DeSantis was born. And now for him to tell me what I can or cannot say in my classroom, I was offended. I still am. The young folks are getting mad. This man has made our children angry. You know, we've been trying to wake our young people up for decades. They've been sleeping. But I'm seeing them roused up by what they see as an attack on our history.
grown. How are you going to tell us what we're not allowed to learn when we're going out of our way to sign up to learn about something? If I want to sign up for a class called Race and Minority Relations, or Religion, Race, and Ethnicity, or Multicultural Urbanism, and we're touching on these things, who are you to tell a fully grown adult who pays tuition that you can't talk about this and you can't talk about that?
There's a difference between a classroom teacher who maybe didn't do a great job of a lesson on race and a state legislature seeking to ban entire ideas, or people who are threatening school board members, which we saw, the anti-critical race theory crowd, threatening school board members, or school boards banning books or threatening to burn books or saying we aren't going to allow you to teach these ideas.
There has been a moment of awakening, of recognition, of contestation and confrontation, all positive things in my view, that is long, long overdue. I think that there are some important lessons for us to learn from the takeover of the term woke, the takeover of the term CRT, or critical race theory. We have an immense capacity for imagination, for creativity, for vision, and we should bring that to the language of our movements. We should bring that to the language of the racial justice struggle, and we should guard our language as fiercely as possible.